What's going on, fellas? This is Mike D with Black Fathers Now. And yo, we got a show for you that I'm already going to say it's going to be some gems dropped all throughout from start to finish. Because we got my man, we got the business bully. We have Dave Anderson on the line today with Black Fathers Now. Now, if you don't know already, Dave is originally from Philly. First and foremost, he's a husband and a father. But the brother's an entrepreneur, a business coach, an author, speaker, podcaster, so much more. And I'm going to be real with you. I actually found out about him probably about a year and a half or so ago. I was watching The Breakfast Club, and there was an interview with this brother that was talking about business and this and that. But then he dropped this thing called Black Boys Win. And I was like, that kind of piqued my interest. So that thing there caused me to do a deep dive into this brother that we're talking to today. And I think we'll jump into Black Boys Win a little bit later. But fellas in the Black Fathers Now family, welcome my man, Dave Anderson. What's up, brother?
Mike, what up, bro?
How you doing, my man?
Man, if I do any better, I'll be you.
Well, we'll keep on doing it then, man. We can have 2 or 3 Mike D's running around.
Why not? Why not?
Dig that, man. But dude, like I said, I appreciate you. Like I mentioned in your intro, you got so much going on, a whole lot. You taking time to come and share with us and kind of pour into the brothers here, man, is valuable, you know, and so I really appreciate you.
Thank you.
And so literally, dude, before we get started, I know this is reverse from a lot of people, but I always like to have the brothers give shout outs because, again, who am I without my village? And so before we get started and before we jump into your story, your origin story and everything, give a shout out to your village, to those folks to help you do what you do on a regular basis, brother.
Wow. Yeah, man. Well, first and foremost, I want to give a shout out to my wife, Janae, because without her, none of this is possible. Because, like, let me tell you something. I've made a lot of money in my day, but I've never made as much money as I have since being married. So, and I'll go into that in detail a little bit later. But yeah, shout out to my wife first and foremost. Shout out to my chief of staff, Carla. She has been with me. You ever have, and I don't know what your story is, but for me, when I was in college, I had a vision. I knew exactly what I wanted to do. I knew exactly how I wanted to go there. College was more of a thing for me for my mom. Like, she wanted me to go to school. I didn't want to go to school. I had a record deal.
Really?
Yeah. We'll get into that too.
Okay.
Anyway,
wow. Okay.
You're going to find, dog. You ever see that movie Slumdog Millionaire?
Yes.
I'm the black version of that dude. I did everything you could think of. Like, you'd be like, what? Yeah. So anyway, I would tell people, mistake number 1, I would tell people who were not in tune with my vision, what my vision was. And we'd be sitting there, there were these mailboxes and there was a couch in front of the mailboxes and we'd all talk about things we do. And I'm like, look, I'm going to help a bunch of people and write a bunch of books. I'm going to speak on a bunch of stages. And by the time I'm 50, I'm going to headline Madison Square Garden. And it was like,
wow.
And one person did not laugh. That one person was Carla. She was like, no, Dave's going to do all of that and then some. And she's been with me for 24 years. You know? And, you know, like, if I'm Walt Disney, she's Roy Disney, meaning that I have the grand scheme of things and I can put together a system, but she's gifted in systems. So have someone who has that gifting as their primary gifting allows me to operate in my creative space. You know,
fellas, hold on, park right there. Fellas, I hope you heard what he said. Again, I told you there are going to be gems dropped from the beginning to the end. He said he connected with someone whose primary gifting was a little bit different than he is, which then allowed him to operate fully in his primary gifting, and he could turn that over to someone else. Dude, in economics, there's a term called comparative advantage. Do what you do most efficiently and then trade for the other goods, right? That's it. Exactly. And brother just explained that in real life, practical application. Okay, you can continue. I just had to point that out so the brothers, just in case they missed it.
No, so I have 2 full-time branding and graphics folks, Nish Finney and Anisha Lagan Garrett. They're amazing. The amount of work they do on behalf of my clients is nothing short of phenomenal. You know, I wouldn't be here. Shout out to Chuck Creekmore from allhiphop.com. Who took a chance on me and allowed me a platform when a lot of the folks in the entertainment industry were not happy with the fact that I was walking my own path. So I really want to shout out, my team. I want to shout out my supporters. I want to shout out my brother JT, artbyjtaylor.com. Amazing artist. He's been my brother for a very long time, and he's just an amazing guy. It's hard to find people who you can talk with who don't want anything from you other than your own success.
Ooh.
Because a lot of times people will just yes you to death, or they want to get something from you, so they'll tell you what you want to hear, or they'll tell you what they need you to hear in order for you to move a certain way for them. And JT has always been like that for me. Shout out to my man Derek Logan, another guy from college who was always very real with me, and he is till this day. We raise our kids together, so that's very important. Shout out to my man Gary Vaynerchuk. A lot of people are shocked by that, but when you play at this level and you've never been at this level, you need people around you who have been at that level. In other words, what happens is with a lot of people, they become the blind leading the blind.
Yes.
They will listen to people who have never done what they're attempting to do, and somehow expect massive results. And I'm like, that's ridiculous. I'm not worth $500 million. Gary is. You know what I'm saying? And, I'm doing well. I do okay. But there's a level that I need to get to. So I need to be able to say, okay, where are the holes? What am I missing? What do you see? And so you have to have people around you like that. So those are my shout outs. I have a million more, but I'm sure you got questions.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, fellas, I want you to pay attention to something he dropped there as well. It's the whole concept of surrounding yourself with folks who can actually help to stretch you. And I'll be honest, that is something I think that a lot of us struggle with, and I've mentioned this numerous times, guys that I have lunch with or connect with, even brothers who are like my elders, so to speak. What ends up happening is, we sit down, we have lunch, and I pour into them, and I'm stretching them and helping them to think about things differently and approach life from a different angle. But then I also throw it back and I'm like, look, I need somebody that can stretch me as well. It's that whole concept of when you feel, and it's not an arrogance thing, but that moment where you feel like you're the smartest person in the room. Some people enjoy that. I don't, because I know that I'm not growing. I'm not being stretched. And, for instance, like with a podcast episode, I mean, you one of the fathers of this podcasting thing from back in the day as well. And one of the things that is interesting is like, I asked for feedback, and 99% of people, oh, that was a great episode. Oh man, that was awesome. And I have to specifically go, dude, where could me? Where could I? That's something I could improve upon. Mic drop. But I'm asking, I'm like, dude, where can I improve? Where I'm gifted, where I'm talented. Where can I improve upon this thing? Don't just tell me it's good. Don't pat me on the back. I don't want that. I want to be better. So that's a challenge, I think, that a lot of, especially brothers, especially black men face. And one of the things I wanted to highlight is the fact that you mentioned Gary Vaynerchuk. And Gary is not a brother, right?
No.
If you didn't hear the name Vaynerchuk, you would not, you couldn't put two and two together. We got another conversation we need to have. But the thing that's interesting about that is sometimes you have to step outside of your realm, step outside of your comfort zone, step outside of your normal to get those people who will help to stretch you and show you things that, that you haven't seen yet or where you're trying to go. And so pay attention to what Dave dropped. Again, that's a gem that you might have overlooked as well. Opening up your world to see things in a different manner, maybe by somebody or maybe with someone who is maybe not even your contemporary.
Yeah. And let me stop there for just a second. Okay. Listen, and I'm going to say, I'm trying to find the right way to say this because I don't want it to come out the wrong way, because people who don't know me could take this the wrong way.
Absolutely.
So when I was coming towards the end of my radio career, I interviewed Tommy Davidson. And I asked Tommy Davidson, I said, Tommy, why is it that every time I turn around, you're in a Jim Carrey movie, but I never see you in a movie with any other Wayans? Why aren't you in any movies with any other Wayans? And Tommy paused, cocked his head at me a little bit. He thought for a second, and he said this, and I'm paraphrasing because I don't want to misquote him, but I'm going to give you what I got from what he said. Okay. And what he said to me basically was, listen, If someone continues to give you an opportunity, you're going to take it. And when other people don't, you can't force them. They set up their thing for them, you know, and I had somebody put me in situations that worked for me. You got what I'm saying?
I got what you're saying.
So I would love to sit at the foot of Byron Allen, but maybe I'm not big enough yet. I would love to spend time with Damon John, and Damon and I have met. We have spoken, but just hasn't happened yet for whatever reason. You know, I would love to sit down with Michael Jordan. Hasn't happened yet. Master P has been extremely gracious when I've spoken with him, and that's been very few and far between. But listen, I will take a lesson from the devil because even the devil can speak truth. And like T.D. Jakes famously said, you eat the meat and discard the bones. You understand what I'm saying to you? Because this is not me, and I don't want anybody to ever think, because I'm blackity black. If you knew how Gary and I came to have a relationship, you would understand that I am so pro-black, it's scary.
Absolutely.
However, I am also pro-bottom line. I'm also pro-business. And it doesn't matter with whom I do business. It matters that I get those dollars. And when I get those dollars, they automatically morph into black dollars in my hand so I can then help black people.
That's interesting. Yeah. You said something there, and it makes me think. I was listening to an interview. I believe it was, I think it was Jadena was doing an interview, and somebody was talking to him about this and about that. And he said his father told him that when you blow up a balloon, you blow up a balloon from the outside. And I was just like, that's actually interesting because, and it makes me think about the analogy of, you know, people always talk about the pie and how do you grow the pie? You know, a lot of times we talk about a pie and we're just moving toppings on the pie from one side to the other. But how do you grow the pie? You got to bring in things from outside the pie itself for that pie to grow. And so it was just, so it's interesting for that analogy to come to, but I guess the other part of it is we all have to be in a place in which we have the conscious or the ability or intellectual fortitude, so to speak, to be able to sift through and pull out the good stuff and discard the stuff that's unnecessary. Because a lot of us, I'm gonna be honest with you, I think a lot of people don't have that capacity. That's why they take sound bites and all of that and run with it, because they don't have the ability to sift through and realize, okay, a sound bite is just one sentence of a 30-minute talk. You know what I'm saying? And
Absolutely.
so maybe before you even open yourself up to all of that, you need to do some, not you, but someone listening needs to do like a deep dive into, you know, how do you take and pull out what's necessary versus taking everything as law from somebody else, because everything's not going to be applicable.
No. You know, people tend to do what works for them, and they want the quickest path to feeling good. They don't want the quickest path to success, and those are two different things.
Break that down. Explain that a little bit.
I'll give you an example. And I love Puff. Puff is a Scorpio. I am one of the few people on the planet that actually owns a Puff Daddy rookie card.
A Puff Daddy rookie card?
It's one of my most prized possessions. I've lost birth certificates. I've lost wallets. I've lost girlfriends. I've lost, my mind. But I never lost that Puff Daddy rookie card, and I'm gonna tell you why.
Okay.
Real quick, and then I'll get into what I got to get into.
Okay.
When I was in my junior year of college, Puffy was so innovative that people didn't catch a lot of the stuff that he would do. Before Puffy, nobody talked shit on remixes. Okay. You understand? So if you go back to the 112 remix, he said, I thought I told you that we won't stop. I thought I told you that. Like, there was a certain level of, I'm going to have my way, whether you see it or not. So when these cards came out, I was actually at the liquor store getting myself a 40. Don't judge me. I was a kid. It was half a life ago. Listen, I've lived. Okay. Look, I graduated with honors, but anyway,
there
I like
is.
40.
Keep the party going.
So I go, and I'm at the counter with my 40, and I look and I see these cards. I'm like, Bad Boy got cards, and I don't know who else was in the pack, but I saw the Puff Daddy card. I said, this is dope. Then as I took it back to my dorm and I examined it. He's wearing the Kobe Bryant number 8 jersey. Okay. A pair of baggy jeans that are way too big for him, and some scuffed up dirty Timbs. Okay. Stay with me. The thing about that is, when you think of Puff now, you never catch Puff in a pair of dirty Timbs. You wouldn't catch Puff in a basketball jersey. You know, you be called damn near a billionaire, you know, who has grown and has evolved over time. You understand what I'm saying? I love what Puff has done with clothing. I love what he has done with music. I love what he has done with reality television. I really love what he's done with Revolt. Having said all that, when I saw that Revolt thing with all the black folks on it,
oh yeah,
that is feeling good versus success, because it was a soundbite war. Nothing got accomplished.
That's all it was. 100%.
Nothing got done.
100%.
And that's the difference between feeling good and success. Success means that if my wife says, hey, I need to go do this, and I'm like, okay, well, go do it. I don't have to be like, oh my God, people are burning. How are we going to make this happen? That's success. It's not about impressing people. Like, bro, I like, you know what I mean? I wear wrestling t-shirts and t-shirts from black-owned companies. And, you know, I wear sweats and jeans and sneakers and shit. You know, I got my own sneaker. But the thing of it is, I'm not doing things to impress you with what perceived success is. I show you through results, you know, and that's the thing. What was the result? Forget all the rah-rah, forget all of the pontificating, forget all the cute little sound bites, you know, and this is no diss to anybody who was on that stage or who said what. It's more of a actual situation. There was not one problem solved. People still went in there, looking to cheer and boo, and they cheered and they booed and they did what they always do. They went home. And while they did all that, I'm sitting here working.
You know, it's interesting, the concept of feeling good versus actually winning, or the concept of actually achieving success is extremely important because, and I think that's something, fellas, listening into this, you really need to analyze. You know, anything that you're doing, anything that you're associating with, is it the fact that you're just looking to feel good? You're just looking to feel good, or you're looking to achieve success and actually change things? And the thing is, change doesn't always feel good. Change doesn't always feel good. Improvement doesn't always feel good. Going to the gym doesn't always feel good, but you can generate results, right? I mean, it's a difference. And I think, to your point, I think that's a really distinct, you know, conundrum that we need to look into, to think about. Is it just about feeling good or sounding good? Because the other part of it is we like to sound good. We all want to sound like Michael Eric Dyson, you know, using 12-syllable, you know, SAT and ACT words and all of that, which is cool if that's your thing. If that's how you naturally are, cool. But my thing is, does it resonate? Or do people miss what you're saying because they got to pull that thesaurus out, you know, for the, in the middle of, no knock on him. I mean, I dig him, you know what I'm saying? But
facts are facts, bro.
That's it. It is what it is.
Yeah.
But you know, so thinking or speaking of, you know, success and kind of where you are now, there's always a backstory. And so brother, like, tell us, for those that maybe don't know, because I know you're completely open on social media and you shared literally everything. But for those that don't know, man, share your origin story, man. Talk to us about the birth of the Business Bully.
Sure. When I was in high school, I went on a field trip and was bitten by a radioactive spider. And no, I started my career in radio and broadcasting at the age of 9.
Wow.
So that was interesting because I was a kid from the hood who just happened to luck up. And Curly Neal from the Harlem Globetrotters was impressed with the question I asked on a kid show. And he told the producers, yo, y'all should hire that kid. He's brilliant. They didn't know what color I was. They didn't know nothing. And with a name like David Anderson, like,
yeah, that's pretty, yeah.
Sometimes it helps, and then when I show up, people are like,
you was a brother.
Can I help you?
Dude, let me tell you, look, park right there. I interviewed a brother. This was a couple months ago. He actually emailed me, brother out of LA, and he was saying, hey, I enjoy your show. I'd love to be a guest, yada, yada, yada. And at the end of it, he said, my name is Mark Winkler. And I was just like, okay, this is not a brother. This is Black Fathers Now. I didn't even respond to the email for weeks until I happened to come across on social media and I saw a picture and I'm like, Mark Winkler's a brother. Hold up. It was the funniest thing. I actually explained that in the beginning of the interview. I was like, dude, you almost didn't get a shot until I saw your picture because I saw the name. I was like, it ain't no brother in America named Mark Winkler. But there is a brother named Mark Winkler. Shout out, Mark Winkler. But anyway, go ahead, man. So 9 years old. Yeah. 9 years old. You became a professional in radio at 9 years old.
Yeah, 9 years old.
Wow.
And so my life was different than the folks that were around me, even though I was in the hood every single day.
Okay.
And, I'm going to fast forward a little bit. So, I go through that. I do some TV stuff, get to college, still doing radio stuff. Then I wanted to graduate, went to jazz radio on campus, and then they shut all the students out of the jazz radio station. But I'm like, I'm paying all this money to go to school to learn how to do radio, even though I'm already doing radio, but I want to do other shit. So y'all gonna have to do something. So I petitioned the president of Temple University to give me the opportunity to build a radio station. That radio station is still there. It's called WIP Radio. And thousands upon thousands of broadcast students over the past 22 years have been able to practice their craft because of WIP Radio, which I started because I stood for something. While most people are like, oh, well, I don't know what I'm going to do now. I started moving in those directions. I wound up at Radio 1. I started as an intern, wound up producing the morning show within 4 months.
Really? So hold on. So 9 years old, you just happened to ask a question to one of the Harlem Globetrotters who said, and told them, y'all need to hire this brother. You started honing your skills, went to college, and you were working in radio there. They shut it down, but then you petitioned to get a studio started at Temple University that's still in play today.
Absolutely.
Oh, wow. And then you started working for Radio 1 as a producer within 4 months.
Yeah, well, I started working at Radio 1 as an intern, stacking T-shirts and getting coffee and shit.
Okay.
Then, in 4 months, I began to produce the morning show. That morning show wound up getting replaced with syndication. I did that morning show that morning. That afternoon, I was doing afternoons across the street, which would eventually become iHeart. And that's where I hooked up with Wendy. That situation was interesting because, Wendy was like, yeah, you got to go. And I'm like, what do you mean I got to go? She was like, you got to fire your belly and ain't nobody going to move. Meaning that.
Wow. Hold on. You got a fire in your belly and ain't nobody going to move.
Yep.
Wow.
In other words, people would hold on to their spot so hard that they would try to block you. And having been blocked and blackballed herself, and you would have to ask Wendy this, and I haven't had a chance to, but I can only imagine that her thought process was, I'm not going to allow him to stay here waiting for a shot. I'm going to force him to go get one.
Wow. Like we were talking about earlier, the concept of, you mentioned like sharing your dreams with people who couldn't see your vision. There was an example prior to that or after that someone saw the vision that you maybe didn't even explain to them. That is fascinating because for somebody looking at you to say, you got a fire in your belly and ain't nobody gonna move, I'm going to make you move so that you can then take off and fly the way that you need to. So it's like that whole connection of connecting with people who can understand your vision and basically supplement where you're not strong. But then the flip side, having those connectivities or having that connection to people who can see things in you that maybe you can't even see in yourself. Like that is a blessing. That's powerful, man.
No, you would not be talking to me if it wasn't for Wendy Williams. And I'll tell that to anybody.
Wow.
Because she did for me. And keep in mind at 21, 22, this didn't feel like a blessing.
Not at all.
I'm like, but I didn't. And so I called my mom and I was like, yo, Wendy fired me today. She's like, but why? And I'm like, I don't know. She said, and I told her what Wendy said. Wendy started talking about how she was making $25 a week in the Virgin Islands and that I was going to be fine. And the next time she see me, I'd be successful. And I'm like, if she thought all that, why'd she fire me? And my mom was like, look, come on home. So I come home and she was like, all these people that you've met, all these people that you know, there's got to be somebody who can help you. There's got to be somebody you can call on, somebody who's connected. And I started firing off phone calls and emails, and I got a hold of Russ Parr.
Mm-hmm.
And
Russ
I told
Parr in
Russ,
the morning.
and I told, because remember, Russ Parr was the show that replaced my show at Radio 1 in Philly.
Interesting.
And I called Russ, and Russ says, send me your tape. So I emailed him my demo, and he calls me back. He said, are you willing to move? I said, yeah, I'm willing to move. He said, give me 20 minutes. 10 minutes later, Russ calls me. He says, listen, going down to Fayetteville, North Carolina, they want to interview you. You got the job. All you got to do is not go in there and be an asshole.
Mm-hmm.
And so I went to Fayetteville, North Carolina, and got that job. So, it was like bing, bang, boom. So I went from Market 4 at the time. It's like Market 6 now. I'm retired, so I don't start my line. But I went from Market 4. Watch this. I went from Market 4 to Market 125.
Wow. Look, not one step back. You took about 1,700 steps back.
Yeah, pretty much. I took 121 steps down.
Wow.
And I was like, and I'm here and I'm looking. I mean, it's nightclubs with dirt roads leading up to them. Ain't no parking lot. It's all uneven. You go to the club to host, and I'm doing afternoons, and I'm looking at these people around me. Not that I think that I'm better, but I'm from the city, so I've seen things. These folks, I'm not trying to be funny. Mm-hmm. I done lived a good third of my life in the South, mm-hmm. but I'm telling the truth.
Look, and I'm from the South. I'm from Augusta, Georgia. I live in Knoxville, Tennessee right now. So,
bro,
I understand the South. I mean, now we've developed now. Don't get it.
Absolutely. I mean,
don't get it twisted now.
Let's not get it twisted. But you go back 20 years.
Oh yeah. Okay, we got you.
All right. So I was like, yo. I was like, this is some kind of punishment. I don't know what kind of penance I'm doing. But I get there and I do my job. I'm doing afternoons. And if you get a 15 share, mm-hmm. meaning 15% of anybody listening at any given time, you're doing well. In afternoon drive, I had a 46 share.
Wow.
So I was murdering everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And guess what happens?
The radio shut down?
No. Russ Parr was getting more stations. So Russ got more stations. So the program director was also the morning show host. Okay. And when they put Russ Parr in at that morning slot, he just decided that he just needed to be on the air. So he was going to do afternoon drive.
Wow.
So here I was again, tail between my legs.
Wow.
So I head back up to Philly. I'm like, fuck radio. Fuck it. I'm done. Wendy crazy. I'm done. So I wind up working for a small company called PromoWorks. PromoWorks had one client, and that client was a product that nobody had ever heard of, was scared to death of, nobody want to touch it. They didn't know what was in it. They thought it was some kind of drug, mm-hmm. and it wasn't. And what was happening was they would take these trucks and they would give people samples of this drink. And some folks dug it, some folks didn't. There were reports of people being all cuckoo and jittery and whatever. And, it was a thing. And they would get all these cute girls to do this. So here they hire my big hefty ass.
Uh-oh.
And I'm like, y'all are working way too hard. Y'all going to office buildings and this stuff. I said, no. Here's what we're going to do. First thing we do, we're going to go to the radio stations. Uh-huh. And we'll give this shit to all the DJs.
Okay.
Then we're going to go to the strip club. We're going to give it to all the strippers. And then we'll give it to the DJ. Then we're going to go to every bar and every bar inside the strip club. And we're going to start creating some cocktails with this shit. Everybody there was like, cocktails? You're crazy. All we got to do is ride around. I said, no. Like, if you want this shit to hit,
mm-hmm.
we got to start creating cocktails. And so that's where we did. So long story short, if you've ever had a Red Bull and vodka, you're welcome.
What? Whoa, hold up. I knew you were going to go to Red Bull and it was the funniest thing. I went to Georgia Tech. I finished Georgia Tech in 2002.
Mm-hmm.
I can remember this was 2001-ish, I want to say, when Red Bull. Okay. So I remember we were in this thing called the SAC, was the Student Athletic Complex, playing basketball or whatever. Mm-hmm. We were out there playing basketball and there was this promo thing came up. They had these little skinny cans mm-hmm. of soda called Red Bull. They were giving them away. You're on a college campus. We were like, bet, give them here. I remember me and one of my homeboys, We drank about 3 or 4 of them, just like back to back to back. Dude, you talking about bug-eyed and just, pew! I mean, it was wild because the thing is, nobody had ever heard of an energy drink before. We thought it was like a soda. You know, we was like, whatever. We drink sodas and it's small, so you can drink like 3 or 4 of them, like drinking 1 soda or 2 sodas. Dude, I was bouncing off the freaking wall. And Red Bull you were part of the promo team with Red Bull, and you can be credited with the whole Red Bull vodka craze.
I had, there were a bunch of them that never caught on. The Red Bull and vodka. So what I would do was I had like Red Bull and Stoli Raspberry. That was my shit.
Okay.
And then
that's wild.
People who didn't like the raspberry shit, that's where we got Red Bull and Grey Goose from. Right? But I would do Red Bull, orange juice, and peach schnapps.
Okay.
So, and we called it Bull's Balls, like a fuzzy navel.
Yeah. Okay.
Here's why. Here's the kicker, right? The other reason I called it Bull's Balls was because Red Bull, the thing that gives it energy, is a thing called taurine. Taurine is found in the testicle of bulls.
Wow. So,
granted, before people start freaking out, I think they've been drinking bull nut all this time. It's pharmaceutical, and this is how you know I'm telling the truth, because wouldn't nobody know this shit? You've never heard this before in your life. It's pharmaceutical grade synthetic taurine that they put in there. So the extract comes from bull's nuts, but what you're actually drinking does not come from bull's nuts. That's why it's called Red Bull.
Okay. And I never knew that. See, look, fellas, you're learning some history now. Why is it called Red Bull? Because taurine is a derivative of what's found in the bull sack. So that's interesting. Like, I mean, now granted, I mean, full stock, I don't drink Red Bulls anymore and everything, but
smart man.
Yeah. Years ago, I stopped drinking those, but that's interesting, man. So you left radio and then worked for a promo company that in essence was promoting Red Bull, basically the first launching the whole energy drink category, so to speak. Wow.
Yeah. And so my adventure has always had these bits and pieces that have glimpses of me being the person that you now see in front of you.
Okay.
But to me, I'm just like, okay, I don't want to do this boring shit of going into office buildings. Let's have some fun. Like, okay, if I can give it to the strip club, then we go see the strippers.
Okay.
If I can make drinks with the bartenders, then I can drink for free. I'm not thinking of it like, well, from a marketing standpoint, we need to do this, and we have this many KPIs, and then we got to look at the P&L. Like, I'm not doing any of that. I'm 23 years old, and I want to have fun.
And what's interesting about that, again, this is like some aligning of things that need to align. You're also the target demographic. So it's interesting. Like, I mean, when you stop and you think about a product or service, I mean, if you are the primary customer of that product and or service, it's like, the marketing strategy. And this is like something, and this is probably something, fellas, another gem to think about. If you're looking at business, if you're looking at creating something, product, services, and it's something that you are the primary customer of, you are the one that really has the marketing plan straight up lined up because you are that one that you're selling to. And that's all you did. You just basically took it from, look, I'm a 23-year-old who likes to do these things. We're going to make sure that we just copy and paste this thing across the board because I ain't unique. Most 23-year-olds want to do what I'm talking about doing. That's interesting.
Yeah. Now, I didn't come up with the extreme sports shit. All that shit came after I left. But, the targeting, like the switching the targeting, to me, I equated with what Magic Johnson did with Starbucks.
Absolutely.
I didn't invent Starbucks. I didn't invent Red Bull. But I damn sure perfected that shit. And I'll never get credit for it, just like I won't get credit for podcasting.
Well, talk about that. Look, we're on a podcast now. So what do you mean by create, the credit with podcasting? Talk to us.
So 97, let's run back a little bit. 97, when I'm at Radio 1, a comedian named D. Lee, one of my mentors, has a cousin named Randy. And Randy is just a web wizard. Like, this dude could do any fucking thing with the web.
Okay.
This is I know his name is Randy Watson. What's going down episode of That's My Mama?
That's my mama.
Randy Watson.
Randy Watson.
Sexy chocolate. Anyway.
That boy good and terrible.
Good and terrible.
Good and terrible.
So the thing of it is, right, I'm talking to Randy because most of the other people in the morning show were busy being local celebrities.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm talking about some of the things that he's doing. And he was like, yo, there's this thing in Baltimore. I know they want to do some things. I think you'd be perfect for this experiment. Let's go down and talk to him. I'm like, oh, shit, I'm always down to go to Baltimore. Why not? You know, it's good eating in Baltimore.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I like a crab cake.
Yeah, it is.
So I was like, yeah, let's go chop it up. And so they showed me this thing. And they said, this is an MP3 player. What we're going to do is you're going to record your show, right? And then we're going to put your show on this thing right here. I'm like, that's a computer. I know what a computer is. No. This isn't a computer, Dave. This is a server.
Mm.
So we're going to upload your show onto the server, and then people will download this to an MP3 player. I'm like, but where's the CD? Where's the DAT tape?
Mm.
You know, and they're like, no. It'll just go on the MP3 player. And so they gave me an MP3 player, and I'm like, oh, okay. So, and I was like, okay, but we got to explain it so it makes sense to somebody. So we should call it something like on-demand audio.
Okay.
And so that's what we called it. We called it on-demand audio. I had my show on there. And because I was connected, like the people I had on my show, and it was interesting because nobody ever had a show on the internet like this, where it was hip-hop and celebrities and a countdown and a mix show. I had Russell Simmons, I had the Lost Boys, I had Queen Latifah, I had Hugh Hefner, I had a whole bunch of people that I was interviewing on this thing. And so after a while, when we started getting downloads and hundreds of downloads and more downloads, we said, okay, well, let's take it to some radio conventions to see if we can get radio involved. So I go to the radio convention, went to a very big one, I will not name it.
Okay.
And there were some radio icons there who I will not name.
Gotcha.
And I said, hey, y'all, look, this thing, MP3, and downloaded this, that, and the third, and this, that. And they was like, get out of here. How am I going to mess with that? Look, people just now getting dismissed. Man, nobody want that. If I can't understand it, I can't mess with it. We go invest in satellite if we invest in anything outside of terrestrial radio.
Wow. Hold on.
1997. Now, if you do your math, you realize that Jobs did not come up with an iPod or anything like that until 2000, 2001. So, and podcasting, term meaning iPod, casting, on-demand audio in the form of an iPod as the MP3 player vehicle, didn't happen until about 2002, 2003. So I'm 5 years ahead, bare minimum, of any type of anything. The same way they won't give Latimer credit for the light bulb, they might talk about the filament. But if Edison invented the light bulb, then why did he need Latimer to do the patents?
Wow.
Is the same way I'll never get credit for podcasting. And I don't want it. You believe what you want, but I got facts and history on my side.
That's, and it's interesting. And it thinks, the concept of innovation, right? Like, and it goes back to what you were saying earlier about how people can't understand your vision, or people squash your dreams because they can't see. I mean, it's your vision because it's your eyes. But this whole thing that you were exposing them to was well before anybody could even put it together. And it almost sounds like the whole story behind Kodak and the whole digital camera scenario, where film and Kodak, these companies could have owned the whole digital market in regards to taking pictures, but they were like, nah, everybody's going to, stay in film. They're like, all right, bet. And what happened to Kodak when they could have been on the front end of it? Bye-bye. So the same scenario kind of happened there. And it's interesting that everybody then jumped in on the back end, but wow, you were exposing these major radio players at the major conference to this thing called podcasting 5 years before podcasting even became a thing. And it's still never reached critical mass until it's not even fully a critical mass yet. It's getting there. But even to just a couple of years ago. So, dude, that is, that's, and so what was interesting though, is like you had a lot of so radio and audio and communication seems to be the gift that was shown early for you, at the age of 9 that you kind of doubled down on. You moved into marketing in between the whole radio gigs and whatnot.
Right.
And then you take all of, and to me, just hearing this gives more of a backstory as to how you can now effectively serve as the business bully, because you have this non-linear path that you've taken from start to, up to where you are today.
Right. I think for me, The one thing, Mike, I've done that most people don't do is I say yes to just about everything.
Mm.
Here's the thing. I got nothing to lose.
Mm.
My daddy used to say the reason that he was able to get with my mother, and my mother to this day is a very, very beautiful woman, was that he knew that most beautiful women don't get talked to because most men are too intimidated or automatically assume that they don't have a man.
Wow. You know what's interesting about that?
Hmm.
Wow, that is actually true. When back in the single days, because I'm a happily married man now, but back in the single, come on, Doc. But back in the single days, I mean, that was it. I mean, everybody would talk to that, 4 to 8, but that one that's like a bona fide 10, folks were scared to shoot their shot. And so, and then if you sit down and talk to that 10 would tell you that, I mean, I wish a brother would come up and holler, but we automatically assume. And what's interesting about that? That to me just kind of leads to the notion of we have to shoot our shot. You know what I'm saying? We have to also be confident in who we are, that no matter what a person appears to be, if you're confident in what you bring to the table, that confidence should lead you to know that you're bringing something valuable. And as long as you're bringing something valuable, again, it might not be the same value that somebody else brings, but it's valuable to someone else. And so walk in that, walk in your purpose, walk in your gifting, walk in your greatness, and shoot your shot.
Yeah. I think, Mike, we can't discount the fact that we are computers. And because we're computers, we've been programmed with a certain level of indoctrination.
Ooh.
And because we've been programmed with a virus called self-doubt and self-hate, and because we've been running on a operating system called systematic white supremacy, a lot of us have to unlearn a lot of things that we have been programmed to operate within. And that programming is really hard for a lot of people to fight, And so it's disheartening. I'll give you a real world example. If you look at my personal Facebook page, and I do a lot of fun stuff on my personal Facebook page because it allows me to reach certain people at a certain time. Once a month, I'll do this thing where I just grant wishes.
That's how we came. Look, to be completely transparent, just to validate that, that's how we're here. You put that out the other day, and I was in the feed, and I was like, hey, I'd love for you to come on Black Fathers Now and share your story with the brothers. So yes, that's what this is. That's how this thing started.
But if you go to that feed, Mike, what was funny was you kept seeing a recurring theme, even though I said, don't ask me for money because I ain't giving you.
Mm-hmm.
I started my company with a $12 GoDaddy website and a dream. It was a shitty website, but I'm good at code.
But it's a start. It was a start.
I was really good at code.
There you go. See?
I had a rock DJ teach me how to code while I was doing radio. So I would put in a couple of long records and shit, and I'd run over to the studio. He'd teach me how to code, or he'd come in early that day and he'd teach me how to code. And that's how I learned HTML and Flash and all that shit.
Wow.
Yeah, like crazy. But here's the thing. Everybody kept saying, oh, I want marketing. I want promotions. I want paid speaking gigs. And I'm like, okay, cool. Where's your tape?
Mm-hmm. Wow.
Where's your website? How many people on your email list? What you really want is for someone else to put you on when you've not put yourself in the position that you need to be in order to achieve the result that you claim you want.
Oh, dude, I'm going to tell you, because that's something I think needs to be expounded on a little bit, because you want somebody to put you on, but the real deal that you can do for a lot of folks in that case is to call their bluff. Because the reality is you want to be put on, but are you ready if somebody were to say like, okay, bet, next week, come get on the stage. Whoa. Hold up, man. Now give me 2 months to, give me 2 months to kind of work out some material and you start having that fumbling. But at the end of the day, you want somebody to put you on, but are you doing the things that are necessary to get put on and actually succeed when that opportunity presents itself? And I think that, to your point, is what I think that's kind of what you're saying, in the sense that folks want people to do the work for them and they think that it's easy. But then hearing your backstory, I mean, this is 25 years in the making. You know what I'm saying? This is not something that just, you decided, oh, I got something to say, and you just start talking and people pay you to do this and pay you to do that. There's a backstory here.
Yeah,
you got to go through the process.
31 years of my life.
Wow.
31 years of my life and counting.
Wow.
So to put that another way, 75% of my life I've been doing this. Right? But people compare my chapter 31 to their chapter 5. Mm-hmm. And that is a problem. And what hurts is, like, I'll give you a real, like, because you touched on something, I don't want to lose it.
Okay.
When you said that people, just don't want to do the work. When I say that I'm the worst thing, you should hear the amount of splaining that happens. Splaining. And that's what it is. It's splaining. It is shit planing or shit planning or splaining for sure. It literally is someone saying, well, Mr. Anderson, maybe it's been a while, but maybe you forgot we all have to start somewhere. Well, you've been doing this shit for 5 fucking years, and I've been watching you for 5 fucking years talk about, how do I find my audience? You ain't got email list one, you still crying broke, but yet and still your internet bill paid every single month. Wow. Your hair is done every single week. Wow. Like you kill him, and I'm not saying go be unkempt and go be a bum. What I'm saying is invest in yourself at the level that you want someone else to invest in you. When people come, and let me tell you, I'm gonna be full disclosure here. I think most people know, and if they don't know me, they know by just listening to the way that I operate, just from this. Working with me and my team is not cheap. Like, you're gonna run me an Ultima. That's the only way it's the simplest way I can break that down. You're gonna run me an Ultima.
Absolutely.
The difference between me and a lot of other people is they'll throw you into some videos and stuff like, no knock against Robert Kiyosaki, but you ain't seen Robert Kiyosaki at any lecture. You're not going to do it. His team shows up.
Absolutely.
Same thing with Damon. His team shows up. With me, you're getting me and my team. And I talk to all of my clients individually every single week, more than once a week. Because I have systems in place, so I don't have to do everything myself. I'm not addicted to my labor. I'm addicted to revenue and results. Wow. Right? So when people tell me, oh, well, you didn't work and you're not doing this, and then I start running down these here receipts. Well, I have a separate program that shows me when you've logged in to the stuff that is recorded. I also see how many times that you come to Q&A. I see how many times you come to office hours. I see how much you post, how much you don't post. And then I run all those things back to you. And I'll say, who failed who? Because this person over here is making $130,000 a month. This person over here is making $80,000 a month. This person over here is making $30,000 a month. And you ain't made a dime yet. But then why is it that you're never here? Why is it that nobody knows who you are? Why is it that you're not in the conversation? But you want someone bigger to blame. So you'll hop from coach to coach to coach, like Frogger hops from leap pad to leap pad before getting run over by a Mack truck, so that you can have someone bigger to blame while you're not where you want to be. And the reason you're not where you want to be is because you refuse to actually do the one thing that you want to circumvent, and that's the fucking work.
Wow.
So, whoa! I gotta get this out. Hold your thought.
Come on with it.
I am a very proud Black husband. I am a very proud Black father. I'm a very proud Black brother. I'm a very proud Black son. As a Black man, and as a Black man in business, not a Black man in Black business, but a Black man in this America doing business, I got issues with a lot, not all, but 96% of my clientele are Black women. Why? You want to know why?
Why? Because
a lot of brothers don't want to hear instruction from another brother telling them something that they feel they should already know.
Ooh, dude, can I tell you, you like, that's interesting.
That's factual.
That's factual, and that's interesting. And because it was something when you were kind of listing your shout outs initially, for the first, outside of, obviously your wife and kids and everything, the first few people that you mentioned were all ladies.
All Black women.
All Black women.
Yep.
Wow. That's interesting.
Here's the thing, bro. Mike, I created Black Boys Win for two reasons. Number one, I want my daughters to have good young men to date.
Absolutely.
Number two, I didn't see a lot of me running around when I was a kid. There was only a couple other people I know who I could see were like me or on my vibe or on my wavelength. Is that clear?
Yeah.
So I figured if I could reach more young Black men, I could create more young Black geniuses, more young Black people young Black men on the path to entrepreneurship, more young Black wealthy men. And that's what we're striving towards. But what bothers me is that, there's a scene in Lean On Me with Morgan Freeman. He says, you know what that guy's saying right now? Oh, black bastard can't throw me out. You know where he's saying it? Out in the parking lot. Meaning that a lot of times brothers, because of their own egos or their inability to take instruction from someone who's been where they're trying to go, prevents them from getting the information. Remember, I started this conversation off by saying, I'll learn from the devil if you tell me the truth. I'm not that arrogant where I can't learn something. I learn every single day. You understand what I'm saying? I read 104 books a year. That's 2 books a week if you're counting. Because I need to listen, Warren Buffett will read I think like a book a day or something like that, or a book a week or something like that. And I'm like, I need to read too. Because Warren Buffett bought Coke and didn't change a damn thing, but for every 8-ounce serving, he added a penny. And that made him $30 million a week just by that one thing.
Wow.
You see what I'm saying? Like, we got a problem, especially, and my wife says this, and I agree. She said, if you were white, would nobody have a problem? And you know who else told me that?
Who?
Gary Vaynerchuk.
Really?
Yep. He said, does a white man have an advantage over a black man doing the same thing? Absolutely. Absolutely. That's the truth. Like, let's not argue. We hate ourselves so much that when I started, operating in a tech space, it was black people questioning whether or not it was real.
Wow.
I didn't get no questions from nobody else. But when I was out in Sacramento, when I was out in the Silicon Valley, and I went to AMC to watch Avengers Infinity War, and I'm looking, and they have tikka masala right next to the nachos. And they've got chicken curry right next to the popcorn. And they got first run Bollywood movies playing in an AMC theater next to Avengers.
Wow. You
know what that tells me? That the Indian community knows what the hell it wants, and they're going to get catered to. When the last time you seen black folks catered to like that? Anywhere in America. I'll wait.
Wow.
We are not together on shit because everybody wants to be the leader. Everybody thinks they got the answer. Everybody want to be a know-it-all. Bro, I just wanted to be a trash man. I ain't asked for this shit. But that's what I'm called to do, Mike. So I get a stick in my craw, I get a bee in my bonnet when I see brothers who really could be making it happen, but they scared as fuck. While the sisters are out here winning. Now let's talk numbers. Let's take Dave Anderson's experience all the way out of it.
Okay.
Fastest growing sector of businesses in America is what?
Black women.
Black women. Majority of minorities in the C-suite in corporate America are who?
Black women.
Thank you. Where the brothers at?
Wow. Fellas, this is real.
Because, you can name them. I'll name them for you. Damon John, Robert, what's his face, who paid off everybody's student loans. Byron Allen, Master P, Jay-Z. I'm trying to think who else. Shit, I don't even want to get into all the music people, but other than that, there's only a handful of folks really making it happen out here.
Wow. That's, and you touch on something there, man. Because again, this is Black fathers now. And again, no knock to the sisters, because we want them to succeed as well. But brothers, what is that thing? Is it still a lot of self-hate? Is it still a lot of, when we look in the mirror, we don't see the possibilities in ourselves. Therefore, when I look at another brother, I can't quite see the possibilities in them. I mean, is that really still stemming from this self-hatred that we have, that we don't take that step, that we don't live up to our potential? I mean, fellas, I mean, this is really thought-provoking. And it's one of those things where you probably need to pause this and really think in the mirror. Am I living up to my full potential? And if not, why? Real talk, like, fellas, like, real. This is to you. I know ladies listen to, because they like to hear what we're talking about. But
always,
they the smart ones on that. Yeah, there you go.
Mm-hmm.
But real talk, man. Why? Why is it that we are not living up to our full potential, and we see it? It's like you come in and you come in contact with brothers all the time, and you see the potential. You're like, dude, all you got to do is X, Y, and Z, and it's like a rocket ship. I see it all the time. I spoke with a group of young men today at a middle school. I'm just like, some of these brothers can literally, I'm talking about, change the world.
Change the world.
But they got to believe it. But on the flip side, because of the systemic stuff that's going down, we also, as Black fathers, as Black men, need to pull our weight in the sense of encouraging them along the process, because we know that there are all these forces that are pushing there, and start early, like with the concept of Black boys win. Mm-hmm. And I mean, speaking to that, talk to us a little bit about Black boys win. Like, what exactly specifically is Black boys win, and what is your goal with that?
I wanted to create something that I didn't see. Let's talk. And I need to preface this, and sometimes I apologize if I'm taking up more time than you have.
Man, brother, this is your story, so we're good. Let's roll.
I got a lot on my heart, and I don't know how much time anybody has, let alone myself. So I want to try and get this out and be as effective and as clear as possible. My mother was an award-winning teacher, 2 or 3-time Teacher of the Year finalist for the city of Philadelphia. My grandmother was a teacher. My stepfather was a teacher. You know, I got aunts and uncles who are teachers. I was teaching at the college level when I was in undergraduate in college. I'm not knocking education, but as the product of educators, I can say with a clear conscience that the education system is broken. The same way as the son of a cop, as the son of a federal law enforcement agent, as the brother of a cop, as the nephew of law enforcement agents, I can say that the police system and the criminal justice system is broken. I can do both things. So when I say what I'm about to say, I'll prove it to you. Now, you and I have never had a conversation, correct?
I think we had one phone conversation.
One phone conversation other than this, right? But you would not say that I'm your best friend. You and I talk all the time.
Yeah, correct.
You did not prepare any questions with me beforehand, right?
No, not at all. Not at all.
So I'm going to ask you a real question.
Okay.
What class, from the time you are in kindergarten to the time you got to be a senior in high school, taught you how to write a check?
Now one.
Okay, wait. What class taught you about the importance of growing, developing, and maintaining your credit score?
None.
What class taught you about entrepreneurship?
Zero.
Okay. I don't know, they might have had it where you are, but in 10th grade, a few things interesting happened to me. I'm getting the Black boys win, but I got to give you the foundation.
Yeah, give it to me.
A few things happened to me. I played 7 instruments. I play every brass instrument but the trombone. I also play the bongos. So 8, technically. I was in all-city band, all-city orchestra. I was in the marching band. I was in all-city choir. You know, sang backgrounds for Levert and Teddy Pendergrass. I'm one of the youngest people to ever re-record The Twist with Chubby Checker. There's a lot of shit.
We didn't even get into half of this, but okay, keep on.
All this shit is verifiable, but it sounds weird as fuck.
Okay.
If you go to VH1, if you go to Teddy Pendergrass's VH1 Behind the Music, you'll see me standing there with big old glasses and a bow tie. Funny shit. Anyway.
Wow.
10th grade, they cut all that shit. No driver's ed, no wood shop, no metal shop, no painting certification, no plumbing teaching, no type of skills, nothing that could actually help you get a leg up, because the truth of the matter is most skilled laborers can become business owners and maintain through any type of economic downturn, which we're on the verge of, contrary to what people are putting out here, faster than someone who has a degree. Also, if in fact the education system in America, regardless of color, if the education system in America was complete and perfect or even good, why are we 27th in math? Why are we 24th in reading comprehension? And why is it that people who graduated from MIT, Temple University, Harvard, Howard, Yale, Brown, University of Pennsylvania, all look like assholes on a little show called Are You Smarter Than a Fifth Grader, hosted by John Cena? If education was what it was supposed to be, where you can't, and I said this on the Breakfast Club and people looked at me like I was crazy. You cannot get freedom from the people who choose to oppress you. So why would they give you the tools to educate you? You think because they allowed you to read that all of a sudden you're going to get it? That's why every single year, no matter where you are, come February, it's, wait for it, Martin Luther King, Harriet Tubman, Rosa Parks. Oh, and if they're feeling really froggy, you might get Sojourner Truth and Frederick Douglass. But you're going to get the whitewashed, blanketed versions of that. So I created Black Boys Win so that there was a place that people could learn certain skills. And not just the fun stuff, because even though we had a STEM part, I got rid of it, and I'm going to tell you why. STEM is what is to this generation what computer programming was to my generation, what plastic surgery was to my brother's generation. You know, now a plastic surgeon makes about as much as a general practitioner. You know, you got IT people making $15 an hour. I don't see the upside in that when you can do that being an assistant manager at McDonald's. You understand what I'm saying? And so I wanted to give people an opportunity and give young Black men an opportunity to explore what they could be. Say you love to draw, you want to draw comic books. Cool. I know enough people at Marvel, I can get you a tour. You know, say you want to be a doctor. Listen, I know plenty of Black doctors who can show you what it is to be a Black doctor and what that looks like. Black men I'm talking about. That's important. Now, we do have, Black women who also teach these young Black boys because they need the duality.
Absolutely.
And they need to develop the respect for Black women. They need to understand that the Black woman is God, which is something else that isn't taught. If the Black woman is the first woman to all of mankind, then that means that she brought life into this world. If she brought life into this world, then by default, she is God.
Wow.
So when you understand that, like, and don't get me wrong, I'm not perfect. You know what I'm saying? Like, there are times, like, one thing I try to do is if I argue with my wife, I will apologize. You know, I want my kids to see that. I want my daughters to see that this is how adults solve conflicts. I want my daughters to see that those things are happening. So I created Black Boys Win so that you got something supplementary other than the bullshit that you're getting. Because I'm sorry, real quick, without Googling it, what is the Pythagorean theorem? Help me.
Look at here. And I'm going to tell you what's even scarier than that. I have a degree from Georgia Tech, and I can't tell you that off the top of my head right now.
The prosecution rests. But I'll give you both a question. I'll give you both a question. How many stars are in Orion's belt?
I have no clue. I have no clue. Stars in Orion's belt.
Yeah, how many stars in Orion's belt?
I can't tell you.
Why the fuck would you need to? Now watch the ill shit. Watch the ill shit. A lot of times the things that you need to know, they'll put in things that you're not even paying attention to. There's a doctor named Dr. Sari Thomas who taught me this in college. It's called cultural lagging. In the mid-90s, they were doing a whole lot of shit. There was this thing called Dolly the sheep. And Dolly the sheep was the first clone sheep. Now you got clone meat sitting right next to the regular meat and you don't know the difference. There are a bunch of movies about, the world coming to an end, a Black president being in charge, deep cover, total impact, shit like that. Pay attention. They'll constantly put these things out into the lexicon. When I was a little kid, I was 11 years old. I'll never forget it. There was a movie called G.I. Joe the movie. Right? You also had the advent of Serpentor taking over Cobra because Cobra Commander just wasn't getting the job done. Peep game. So what do? They take the DNA from Alexander the Great. They take the DNA from Napoleon. They take the DNA from Hitler. They take the DNA from all the evil bad guys ever created, and they make this one dude. And the first thing, his first act, other than demoting Cobra Commander, was simply this. He wanted to create a machine that could manipulate the weather. So the first thing they taught you was about deoxyribonucleic acid, DNA. I knew about DNA 6 years before the OJ trial.
Wow.
Because of G.I. Joe. I also knew that it was possible to fuck with the weather with satellites because of G.I. Joe. Then you fast forward to my oldest kid's age and they come up with Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs. Then they got a movie called Geostorm where they talk about controlling the weather with satellites. But, don't let me put on my tinfoil hat because, nothing is designed. That's why when you turn on TV, you never see a straight black man with a straight black woman on television unless said straight black man is a buffoon or the straight black woman is mixed. Go ahead. Name me a show. Name me a show with a solid straight black man that is married to a straight black woman who's not a buffoon.
Messaging. Dude, and because the concept that you're talking about, how everything is there, but a lot of times the stuff that you need to know is hidden, is so powerful. Like that in itself, the stuff that you need to know is hidden. But brothers, because that's the case, we have to be open and we have to be aware of that and be seeking what's the message behind it. Pretty much you need to look at everything kind of like a math word problem from high school. You think about the math word problems from high school, it would be like 4 paragraphs worth of stuff. But to answer the problem, all you needed was 2 sentences. But you just got to find those 2 sentences in this full, page long, 2 paragraph synopsis.
Yeah, here's one for you, Mike. Pay attention. When I was going to St. Ives, I met a man with 7 wives. 7 wives had 7 sacks. 7 sacks had 7 cats. 7 cats had 7 kittens. How many people were going to St. Ives?
You. 1.
Die Hard 2. Most people can't catch that. But that's what they do. That's what they do. They give you so much. They dazzle you with bullshit. And you're so caught up in the bullshit that the simplest answer is usually right in front of you. But we don't want to hear that. So we're looking for something more complicated off in the distance. So it seems impossible that a young black kid from the hood, could be a captain of industry because you ain't seen it yet. Or you just don't want to see it.
But it could be staring you in the face.
Because the idea of someone like me existing and telling people that there is a system out here that is designed to keep you down, but you keep subscribing to it and saying, yes, sir, may I have another? That's why I get on sisters all the time. Like, why are y'all consuming basketball wives and loving hip hop? You think those things are of you? Do you think that Motor Sky Young really created that shit? Y'all believe that, right?
Agent. She's an agent. Come on.
Come on, bro. Listen, it is easier to take the medicine when it's being handed to you by someone who looks like they're caring for you.
Ooh, it's easier to take the medicine when it's being handed to you by someone that it appears is caring for you. Appears. It's an illusion. Dude, and so, fellas, I hope you caught all of that. That's the backstory to this Black Boys Win thing here. And so to that point, I mean, is Black Boys Win, is it a platform? Is it a program? Is it a,
yes.
So talk to us about that. And then I want to jump into something else in just a second too.
So we have blackboyswin.com. You can always donate.
Okay.
And people are like, well, I got to make donations. Well, you don't have to. I'm not asking you to, but you donated to an education, to a system in a university that did absolutely nothing for you. You donate to taxes. And trust me, that's a donation.
Yes.
Because if you read the tax code, you would understand. See, I don't pay taxes. I report them.
Ooh. We probably need a whole nother show for that one. Yeah.
When I learned that shit, I was like, wait. So they're getting an interest-free loan off of the income I'm generating? And
yes, you report. Like I said, that's a good, fellas. That one might have jumped over your head, but we'll come back for something.
We'll come back.
That's another one.
So I have an online digital platform where they can learn things, and then we also do Q&A, where we talk to them, and then we try, if we're able to, depending on where donations are and what things are going on and how we're moving and how busy my schedule is. We do field trips, things of that nature. I didn't want to do chapters because then it becomes something that I can't control.
That's right.
And I got a specific vision, but we try our best to hook people up wherever they are with some type of mentorship, because that's critical. Mentorship is critical out here.
Yes, yes, dude. I'm gonna tell you, it's interesting you say that because I interviewed a brother not too long ago. This guy named Sean Dove. He's the CEO of the Campaign for Black Male Achievement. And one of the things that he mentioned on the show was he said when he mentors leaders, he said leaders should all have a mentor, an executive coach, and a therapist. And he's like, if they don't have those three things in place, they're gonna have issues leading at a highest level.
Yep, trust me, bro. When I'm gonna tell you this. When I was a kid, I used to ask my father a lot of weird questions for a little kid. Because I knew my father knew things working for the government. I don't know how I knew, but I knew. And I say, Dad, like, are there aliens? He said, of course. I said, you see them? I said, I can't tell you. He said, I'll tell you this, though. If you go anywhere near Area 51, you will be shot on sight. So don't go to Area 51 no matter what they say. My father died in 2005. Now you see these people, we're going to raid Area 51. No, you're not. If you know anything, go do, if you think I'm lying, go ahead and do your research. Go look at the deleted scenes and the extras in the original Independence Day from 1994, where they talk about how they had the blessing of the military, but then when they gave them the version of the script that had the words Area 51 in it, the military pulled out.
Wow.
Can't make this shit up. Go watch Dan Aykroyd, the comedian. Dan Aykroyd got all types of information about, alien shit, but y'all ain't ready because y'all still believe y'all are alone in the universe. You believe that every other creature has evolved in a certain path, and humanity, I'll include all in humanity. Anderson slip there.
There you go.
It was accordion. It was Anderson.
It was Anderson.
It was an Anderson slip. Humanity went from caves to the wheel to a unicycle and a bicycle to an automobile to a flying machine to microwaves and cell phones and drones like that. There's something. There's like do, and then there's a jump off the charts. Look at the stealth bomber. Look at all these other things. You got to realize that some of this technology came from someplace that could not have come from us.
It's interesting.
Now, here's the other shit that's really going to fuck your head up. You know how they said that Egyptians didn't build the pyramids, aliens did? Ho, we the aliens. We the aliens.
And
let me try it a different way.
Yeah, I'm about to say because I'm from Augusta, Georgia. We start, and I went to college in Atlanta, so you start talking AT aliens. I'm like, you ain't talking about the AT aliens.
I ain't talking about 3,000.
You ain't talking about 3,000. You talking
about 3,000.
Interesting.
Look at it like this.
Interesting.
Look at it like this. All life started where? In Africa. Okay. All right. The pyramids. They're not machines that can replicate those pyramids. It's 2019, 2020, bro. How is it they're not machines that can replicate these pyramids, the mathematical equations, the way that they're laid out? Man could not have, at that point, done that. But we did. We created mathematics. We created algebra. Listen, we created the fucking umbrella, bro. There was no rain in Egypt. It was the shooters from that hot-ass goddamn sun. Now, some of us, when I say us, I mean humanity.
Gotcha. Okay.
They crawled out of the primordial ooze and went from, Neanderthals and all the other shit, and they was in caves because they don't do well in the sun. How you gonna build pyramids if you don't do well in the sun? Couldn't have been them.
Wow.
Skin of bronze, feet like wool. Oh, biblically, Ezekiel saw the wheel. Go read what that wheel looked like. Go look at all that shit, bro. It's all there, and that's not some ancient alien shit. It's in the fucking Bible. I just said fucking in Bible, but I'm a theologian. Let's rock.
Okay.
But seriously, bro.
Wow.
Like, you got to look at it logically and say that there's something out here bigger, bro. Listen, if we circumnavigated the world way before Magellan, if you look at books like They Came Before Columbus or Before the Mayflower, you would understand that we are the original Native Americans.
Wow.
If you understood who you were. And that if, in fact, we are carbon-based life forms who get our energy, we perform better when we're outside. Why do you think they got us to be slaves? So if you understand that as carbon-based life forms, and the sun in and of itself is a ball of gas that is made of what?
Carbon.
The diamonds in my ring came from crushed what?
Carbon.
And into the earth we shall return. So if we're made of the same stuff that is made of diamonds and the same stuff that is actually carbon, and the sun is a carbon-based life form, then we are the aliens. Come fuck with me.
Wow.
I'm just saying, bro.
That and fellas, you're gonna have to go back and push rewind a little bit, hit that back button and rehear what he's saying and process.
Yeah, I just gave you like 15 marble-sized Easter eggs. Y'all be all right.
And also visit blackboyswin.com so that you can check out some of the stuff that he's talking about in regards to the platform that's creating to educate the brothers on who they are so that they can ultimately be all that they are supposed to be, because we need it. But I want to jump back into something as we kind of get close to wrapping up, but we'll let you go to do your thing. You mentioned that you've made more money since being married than prior to being married. And you were attributing the whole concept of the union with your wife as that exponential force or that synergy that opened up this window for you to ultimately become all that you can be. I mean, you've had great experiences. Absolutely. But talk to us a little bit about how this concept of marriage and marriage to your wife has led to this exponential growth for you on a personal level.
All right, so let's talk a little bit about this. The same way my father said he had a feeling when he saw my mama walk in the room at a Christmas party that he had to turn his chair around to get a better look at her. I said, well, what did it feel like? He said, I can't describe it to you, but you will know it when you feel it. July 6, 1995, I met my wife. And my wife is a twin. Her twin sister is my best friend.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I know.
That's different interview. We'll go dive into the, go ahead.
Later. So when I saw my wife, I felt something that I can only describe to you as Highlanders, the quickening. It just took over my whole body. And I told her I was going to marry her. I knew that was going to be my wife. I told people that girl's going to have my babies. Everybody told me I was crazy. When we finally, I went out and lived my life. She went out and lived hers. And then we got together and then, bing, bang, boom. But the whole time through college, I was like Keith Sweat. There you go, telling me no again. There you go. Boy, I was Jodeci that, baby, I'm begging, baby, I'm begging, begging, baby. Nothing. Not a date, not coffee, not sitting at the same table in the cafeteria. Nothing. Never gonna get it. Woo, 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 woo. So, everybody told me I was crazy. I'd be like, all right, watch. One day, sooner or later. And when we finally got together, I have never felt more safe. I have never felt more protected. I have never felt more loved. Now, I've had people tell me they love me. I've been told a lot more how people love me, but no one has ever shown me as much as my wife has. Having said that, my wife will be like, don't fuck with that. I don't like that. I'd be like, why? I don't know why, but I got a feeling. Oh, that's enough. I heard that. Like, you don't know how many pitfalls my wife has saved me from. I literally, and I talked about this in a live a few days ago, I literally said, this is a few years ago, before the takeoff, for lack of a better term, if there's such a thing as a Dave Anderson business bully takeoff. I said, fuck this shit. I'm just going to get me a job. She was like, the hell you ain't. I'm like, what you mean? She was like, no, you ain't get no job. I said, what you mean? Dave, every time you go to a job, one of three things happens. One, you go there and you'll do the job. Then somebody will discover who you are. And then they'll either milk you for everything they possibly can and take credit for it, or they'll try to break you and run you out, or you'll say, fuck it, and you'll leave.
Mm.
You know, I've made millions of dollars for companies that'll never give me credit for it. Never. Like I've literally changed and systematized things that a lot of people use every single day. But going back there was something that she would not allow. And understand that if I wanted to do that, I would, but it doesn't. I've learned over the years, it don't make sense to go against my wife.
Not at all.
Because she don't want nothing. Like if I lose, she losing too.
Mm.
If I'm broke, we broke.
But add there, it goes back to what you said earlier about how it is such a beautiful thing when you can connect with people who don't want anything from you aside from seeing you succeed.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like, to me, that literally falls in line with that principle right there with your wife. And it's on another level because y'all are connected as one.
Yeah, it's trippy, bro. It's trippy because she's not like, I'm addicted to business.
Mm-hmm.
Like I was doing this shit for free off the top of my head,
Mm-hmm.
just trying to go to the strip club and drink for free.
Mm-hmm.
Like I was innovating shit just for the fuck of it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there's certain things that she sees in me that I don't necessarily see in myself because I'm too close. And you cannot see the picture if you're stuck in the frame.
Wow. Whoa. You cannot see the picture if you're stuck in the frame. Wow. Woohoo.
I'm trying to tell you. And she is just like, when I tell you Janae is the greatest thing that has ever happened to me. Without Janae, I ain't nobody's husband. Without Janae, I ain't nobody's father. Without Janae, I ain't got time to bully nobody's business.
Mm.
You know, Janae takes a lot of the bullets and she takes a lot of the bullshit and she has to, you know, bear the brunt of a lot of shit so that I'm able to be what I am to the world. You know what I'm saying? There's a trade-off there.
There is.
That's a sacrifice.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? Because this ain't easy work, bro.
It's not.
You know, and anybody who and that's the other thing. Brothers, if I can be so bold.
Come on with it.
Stop looking at 5 seasons of Shark Tank and a marathon binge of The Prophet and think you got this shit figured the fuck out, because I swear to you, you don't. Okay? Shark Tank, when you're a contestant on Shark Tank, you're there for like an hour and some change just on the floor. And then they chop that down into 8-minute segments. And they will get from that what they want to get from that. When you look at The Prophet, the man's got a team of producers and writers and creative people and graphic people who can make him look phenomenal. So that it's not, and I'm not saying that Marcus Lemonis ain't gifted, he's a very gifted man. And I'm not taking anything away from the Sharks, but the truth is the truth. It gives people a swell that they can just go out here and bing, bang, boom. But you didn't see the 2,300, you know, people per week that Shark Tank turns away.
Mm. Wow.
You see what I'm saying? Like there's a lot that goes into this. And because you haven't really dug deep, you think that I'll just get up and do it and I'll figure it out. I'm gonna Google my way through this. Man, do you realize that we did the math and I probably spent upwards of, and this is a low end estimate, of $130,000 figuring out how to get here.
Mm.
You understand that? Like that in and of itself tells you, and that don't include college.
Mm. That's just investing in yourself. You're just talking about investing in yourself.
Investing in myself, figuring out what works, figuring out what don't work.
Mm.
You know, from December 2011 till probably, you know, I would say last month, well over $130,000 just on learning, figuring it out, building systems, destroying shit, putting it back together, seeing what actually is going to make a difference. So it's a lot. So when I say people, that cost the ultimate, that ain't even 10% of what I've put in.
Mm.
So when it comes to my wife, man, like she don't get it. And if I brought Janae in here right now, which I won't because she's dealing with my youngest.
Okay.
But if I brought Janae in here right now, she would tell you, I don't get half the shit Dave want to do. I don't fucking get it.
Mm.
But she's brilliant enough and smart enough to know that, one, you shouldn't stand in nobody else's way of doing what they're called to do. Mm. And two, she's seen me make the impossible happen.
Wow.
So she gives me the platform to make the impossible happen. I guarantee you there are geniuses laying on street corners right now. There are people laying on manhole covers. There are people who are sleeping in subways and in nooks and under bridges who are much more intelligent than you and I could ever hope to be. You know what they don't have that I got? The platform to be free enough to do this shit. And that platform to be free enough to do the shit above my mother, above my father, above my brother, above all the tutelage that I've ever had, above my mentors, above Gary Vee, above all these people is Janae Anderson. I cannot, listen, if my mama didn't carry me around in her belly for 9 months, I could not exist.
Wow.
But my wife has allowed us to give birth to this thing that has become the Business Bully LLC, give birth to this thing that allows people to quit their jobs, give birth to this thing that has put more single moms in the 1% than Future with a bag of Viagra.
Wow.
All of that is on my wife's back.
Wow.
I just get the credit because I'm the brain, but believe me, if you, I will tell anybody, my wife got a whole lot of damn ideas in her head that she has done, and I would not be where I was if it wasn't for her.
Brothers, listen. Brothers, listen. I mean, that's part of the reason why before I start an interview, I ask the brothers to give shout outs because it's so important. Usually, you know, and part of that came from when I read someone's corporate bio, it used to bother me because I'd read someone's corporate bio. It's like 2 pages long about, what they've accomplished and how they've done this and how they've done that and their degrees and their salutations, all of this. And then the last 2 sentences of their bio, they enjoy spending their free time with their lovely wife, 2 children, and traveling the world playing tennis. I'm just like, hold up. The stuff that's most important gets the last 2 lines of someone's bio.
Not my life.
But on the flip side, that should be the bulk of what we write about when we talk about someone. And then, you know, their success is, that's there. But what's really important should be out front. And what Dave really highlighted there from the bottom of his heart is that his wife is the core to that. And brothers, I want y'all to realize that, you know, as we do our things and as we try to do it alone, we can't do it alone. There's a value in having, you know, even from a biblical perspective, he that finds a wife finds a good thing. Like that's
and obtain favor from the Lord.
Yes,
that's the important part.
That's real deal. That is, I mean, fellas,
I made more money with my wife than without her. So if that ain't that scripture in action, I don't know what is.
Fellas, think about that. I mean, I really want y'all to be mindful of that. I mean, and from the standpoint of success and growth, I mean, fellas, build with your wife, listen to your wife. And I'm gonna tell you, it's interesting. Every time I interview brothers, this stuff comes back to me. And a lot of times these are things that I need to hear on a regular basis. You know, I love my wife to death and she opens up the window and provides the platform for me to go and create and, you know, do my thing. But it's like, you have to constantly hear scenarios like this to be reminded to make sure to always give your wife credit, to always give your spouse that support system credit, because fellas, it ain't just you. No matter how good you look, no matter how much you're doing, it ain't just you. It never was just you. And it ain't going to always be just you. So just know that.
Now, I'm going to say this. You ever go to a concert, right? And, you know, the singer will say, yo, let's get a drummer some. Because the truth of the matter is, you listening to his words, but you bobbing to that beat.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
You know what I mean? You look at that movie that made Nick Cannon a household name. It's that drum line. The drum line.
Yes, that's it.
Yeah, I mean, my wife is the drummer. I'm gonna get a drummer some.
Absolutely. You better. You better.
That's her beat you dancing to.
Absolutely.
You fucking get a drummer some. And I'm not saying that a single man can't make it. There have been plenty of single men who made it. I'm just saying that when the dust settles and the smoke clear, and I stand on that stage at Madison Square Garden on my 50th birthday, know that I'm gonna get a drummer some. If my wife and I got divorced, God forbid, I would still give her some. Because I would not be able, it's just like, say what you want about The Rock, right? You know who runs The Rock's business? His ex-wife.
Wow.
To this day. The girl he fell in love with in college with, they didn't work out, but to this day, who know him better? Don't nobody. You know what I'm saying? And I think that because my wife and I started off our relationship as friends, there is a depth that people will never, ever understand. And because of that, she knows me. I could be, bro, there have been times, and I've said this on live, so I'm not giving you anything that I haven't already said. There have been times where I've been in the bathroom running water, crying my eyes out because I'm just overwhelmed, tired, depressed, don't feel like I can do it. And she'll fucking know. I don't know how the fuck she knows. But he who findeth the wife findeth the great thing and obtain favor from the Lord. I will tell you how, you know how they say, oh, well, he thinks he's God's gift to women. I feel like my woman is God's gift to me.
Wow. Ooh, bars.
Because it's like God is God and God is dealing with the affairs of the universe. But I think God gives us our own angel. And there are times I'll be thinking about something and she'll say it, or I'll say something. She's like, I was just thinking about that. Like, we are that in sync. Is it perfect all the time? No, it ain't rainbows and butterflies. And sometimes we get on each other's nerves. Sometimes we can't goddamn stand each other, but it's our shit. You understand what I'm saying?
It's ours.
And I'm telling you, oh my, I got to get this out. I got to go. You got to go, but
it's
I got to.
All good. Come on, bring it on. Bring it on. You good?
Yesterday, I took my kid to the Peppa Pig World Tour.
Okay.
Right? She's 4 years old. She is a Peppa Pig stan. Like, black women and Beyonce, Peppa Pig can do no wrong. Peppa Pig could go out here and murder a school of innocent children who are blind, deaf, and dumb, and my daughter will still love Peppa fucking Pig. Right? So we've been stalking this Peppa Pig bitch for so goddamn long that we were waiting for her to come close. She'd be in Europe, she'd be like in North Jersey somewhere we couldn't get to. It was the last minute. So we found these, my wife, Janae, again, Dave, look, Peppa Pig lot. Say no more. Oh, they got VIP? We doing it. So got her third row, Peppa Pig on the floor. She jumping in muddy puddles, mud's getting on my child. Because she deserves that shit.
Okay.
All right? That's not the point of the story. When I looked to my left, and I looked to my right, and I looked behind me the first 5, 10, 15 rows, saw a lot of black children, saw a lot of black fathers. Didn't see a whole lot of black couples. Let me put that a different way because you might not have caught it. There was a black man with his wife and his black daughter, but his black daughter's mother wasn't black. I'm not telling you that you can't love who you want to love, but in this environment, I'm a big believer that as a black man and as a black father, to make sure that we are with our women. The black woman is God. You know, to the point where there was white people asking, because I'm not famous. I'm a public figure, but I'm not famous. I'm not that dude. Like, I don't eat my own shit. You dig? So the ticketer was like, "Are you sure you're in the right line?" I'm like, "Oh no, trust me, I'm sure." I showed him. She said, "Oh." You understand? Like, I looked at my wife, I was like, yo, I see what you're talking about. Now, statistically, 85% of all black men are married to black women. When you get to the 1%, though, when you get to the 1%, and when he get on, he leave her ass for a white girl. You cannot, and I told my wife for the first time in my life, because I saw the visual. I can't speak of what's happening, you know, in any other percentile, but in the 1 percentile, bruh. And them tickets wasn't cheap. Peppa fucking Pig. It wasn't cheap, bro. It's a money grab, and I ain't mad at them. It's free market economy. I saw so many brothers with people who weren't sisters. And I'm like, bro, like, love who you love, but understand that you're doing collateral damage. You might not see it that way, but I'm telling you, like, black people are amazing, bro.
We are.
And I don't want us to ever get to a point, like, love who you love, by all means, but I don't ever want us to get to a point where as though getting a white woman or an Asian woman or an Indian woman or an other woman is somehow a status symbol. Because my wife was smoking all these chicks. And I'm telling you straight up and down, in my heart, my wife is my status symbol.
Mine too.
And I'm like, you, like, and I said all that. I don't even know if you're married to a black woman. I'm just,
yeah, I am. Yes. Maisha Dorsey is my wife. Went to Tuskegee University.
Tuskegee. Alabama. But yeah, man, I was just blown away. Like, yo, no wonder. Like, I'd be mad too. I was like, it blew. I've never seen it before. Like, never like that. And this ain't my first time, like doing VIP shit or nothing like that. But to see that, because I don't do a whole lot of kiddie shit, like Sesame Street, all that. So this was like, because she's 4.
Yeah.
She's her first real rodeo. So for me to see that, I was like, damn, for real? That's what we do?
Wow. It's powerful.
Then we talk about softness, and, you know, we have a certain softness with others that we don't have with sisters. But we don't think about what sisters go through. And that ain't to say that sisters are perfect, because there's a lot of fucked up things. Like when you talk about toxic masculinity, then you run the fact that 74% of all homes that don't have fathers, who's teaching these young men to be toxic? You know, so there's accountability on both sides. But I'm talking about Black men who choose others and choose to do it at the expense of Black women.
At the expense of.
And oh, well, you know, that's why I can't mess with Black women, because they this, that, and the third. Listen, man, we ain't expressive people. Yes, we will cuss you each the fuck out. That's what we do. You know what I'm saying? But we are the only group of people who have to convince ourselves to love ourselves.
Oh, fellas, we are the only group of people that have to convince ourselves to love ourselves. That's what I think we got to put a pin in that, because at the end of the day, that's real. And why? And I guess after you hear that, the question is why? When you look in the mirror, do you have to convince yourself to love yourself? And if so, why? Because again, if you walk down memory lane and you look at the history, all the things that we bring to the table, all the beauty, the success, all the stuff that's embedded inside of us, we should naturally love who we are. We should naturally love who we are. Well, fellas, I mean, y'all, before we get out of here, I got to ask you one more question.
Sure.
We talked about your wife. We talked about your journey and, you know, all the things you've been involved in. But we also mentioned the fact that, you know, you're a dad. This is Black Fathers Now.
Yeah.
How have all of these experiences come back to impact you as a Black father?
I'm being very careful with my words. Being a father is my greatest accomplishment. Like being a daddy and knowing that, like, if I die tomorrow, I know my kids will know that I love them. I'll be sad because I got so much to do, so much that I want to do. Because if God calls me home, he calls me home. But I feel some type of way when it comes to my daughters. You know, I don't have sons yet. I'm hoping. But not yet. We working on it.
Okay,
but,
Dad, keep the party going. There it is.
What happens is, like, my oldest is 20 now.
Okay.
So to be an adult father of an adult child is a complete masterclass in mindfuckery. You know, because you see your kids doing things and you're like, yo, I wish you would just listen to me on this one. Just like, you know, and I told my kid yesterday, just out of frustration, and I meant this, and I had to fight back tears because sometimes I don't feel my daughters need my tears and sometimes they do. But I told her, I said, sometimes I wish we could just fast forward to the part where you realize that I'm right and just do it even though you don't understand, because understanding is not a prerequisite to compliance. But I also understand that you are my kid and you are going to see the world the way you want to see the world, and you're going to experience certain things the way you want to experience them. But I've had to learn to let go of a lot of shit and just let you rock. Now, if you come my way and you ask my opinion, I'm going to give it to you. But see, the role changes as a father when you have an adult child, because you're there to guide and to support and of course,
yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
make it rain.
Make it rain, absolutely.
But you have to understand that the role then changes. You go from nurturer and protector to guide and provider. You know, and it's a different walk now. I don't hold her hand when she walks. She can walk. I'll hold the door open for her, but I don't hold her hand no more. You know, I will still hold her. I will comfort her. I will protect her. And if she got a problem, I am the problem solver. You know, but it's different. Now with my 4-year-old, I still got to learn to let go of other things. You know, my wife was telling me there's this place, I don't know if it's in China or Japan, but they don't have any guardrails around this playground. You know, it's a little drop off. You know, no one is hovering over them, and the kids are fine. There's never one accident, not ever, not after.
Oh, that's in London. That's the free play. What do they call it?
Yeah, the free plays in London.
Free range parenting. That's kind of the whole concept behind it. Yeah.
So you just let them rock, and they're fine.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and so that's hard, especially when you got this little teeny tiny 4-year-old miracle that you don't want to get hurt because you've seen them bust their head. You're like, yeah.
Yes.
You know? Yes. But the one thing that I will say, I am a father to 2 Black women.
Mm.
They will pay attention to what I say, but they watch what their mother does. And I can no more tell my daughters to go for the impossible, to make the impossible happen, if I'm sitting in somebody's fucking cubicle.
Ooh.
Because then I'm putting conditions on what's supposed to be unconditional love, and I'm putting a ceiling on something that's not supposed to have a ceiling. Because if you're telling them they can be anything, then you got to go out here and be anything that you want.
Mm.
And I'm not shitting on anybody who has a job. I'm just stating facts from the perspective of a kid. Like, kids watch what you do.
Yes.
Don't fuck about what you say.
Yes.
So if you're saying to go for it, but you only got one toe in and the other toe over here because you're too afraid to bank on yourself, they watch you. So how dare you get mad at your kids for only doing what they've seen you do? Be half in and half out or half-assed.
Mm.
The Black man is called to lead his family.
Wow.
If your kids do not understand the roles in your house, there is a problem. My job is to protect and to provide. My wife's job is to mother and nurture and encourage. I am the mic. See, this is what makes things great. You can't have, no matter what, you can't have, I'll show you. You can't have 2 plugs. You have 2 plugs, you don't get any energy.
Absolutely.
A plug has to go into a socket. You understand what I'm saying to you?
Mm-hmm.
And then things come to life. So having said that, I will say this. You cannot think that you're going to be able to fully know your role if you're not operating in that role. And you got to be clear on what that role is. And they have to see both, because without one or the other, there's an imbalance. So you got somebody you'll have somebody who's way too hard or way too cynical, or you have somebody who's way too soft and way too nurturing who can get taken advantage of. You need a balance. You need a yin and a yang. You need both perspectives. And especially because not only are they Black, but they're a woman. They already got 2 strikes from birth, bro. So you got to give them every single type of support that you can give them. You know, and to me, it's the greatest, most amazing responsibility, and it's the most frustrating shit I've ever experienced in my life. Because I can't just be like, smarten up, buttercup, get it done. You know what I'm saying?
That don't work.
And if you, listen, real rap, right, Mike? People will come at me and they'll be like, well, how you know, like, you're not pro-college. I'm like, no, I'm not. But then your daughter's going to Howard. I'm like, because she made a choice. She wanted that experience.
Absolutely.
Who am I to deny her the experiences that she wants out of life? Isn't my job to provide them even if I don't agree with them?
Wow. That's deep. That right there, that little, you got to put a pin in that right there. That thing is deep. Is it my job just to provide even if I don't agree with it?
Yes.
That's
the job.
That is the job. But that's a challenging one that I think as dads, as fathers, as Black fathers, we need to really be mindful of and really think about. Again, you might want to pause right there and just reflect on that. Is it my job to support even if I don't agree with? That's worth a full conversation in itself right there.
Yeah, I think it's so important, man. Like, when I was a kid, I wanted to see He-Man on ice.
Boy, you went full left field there. He-Man on ice.
No, I'm going someplace.
Okay.
And I couldn't. My kid wanted to see Peppa Pig live, and she could. I don't give a fuck about Peppa Pig.
Wow.
Is it my job to provide even if I don't agree? I don't give a fuck about Peppa Pig. You understand? But she did. What if I drop dead tomorrow? At least she knows that I took her to Peppa Pig. At least she knows that I picked her up from school. At least she knows that I played with her and I did bubbles with her. You know, at least she knows that I'm there for her. When she wants a hug, I never turn her away. Even if I do Facebook Lives, my kid will pop up on my, hi, people. Like, I don't stop her from that.
No, not at all.
Because
that's you.
She's doing what I would do. I'm seeing me. Wow. I'll never forget, a man named Harry Lyles told me one time, he said, the great thing about having kids is that you get to live again. I don't live vicariously. He says to me, I don't live vicariously through my kid, but I watch my kid with new eyes. Everything becomes new again. You know, so the excitement of watching two children at two very different stages of life go and navigate life through their lens, not my lens, not Janae's lens, but Dorian Devlin's lens. That to me is like, it's an honor and a privilege, but it's hard as fuck, bro.
It is.
It's hard as fuck, but I wouldn't trade it for nothing. Listen, as much as I credit Janae with my abilities to do this shit, I got a constant reminder of what needs to be done because of my kids. Because ain't no paycheck coming in here. If I don't kill it, they don't eat. You know, and so that's the thing. So I got all these factors that I feel are unfair advantages over most people because I look at these things like, I said, everywhere I go, I burn the bridges and the boats and I take over. I said, there's no tomorrow, there's no going back. This is what that is. You know, and so being a Black father is the main reason why I got to be the business bully. There's no other way to put it because I can't provide to give my kids their best Black life if I'm not doing, you know, this Black ass shit that I'm doing.
And on that note, fellas, y'all need to make sure to check my man out, Dave Anderson. And the best way to get in touch with you, man, is what's the best way for the brothers to follow and get in touch with you? Well,
on Instagram, it's The Business Bully. On Facebook, it's The Business Bully. If you want to talk about coaching and you're ready to have the will and the check, the will and the check.
Two things.
You can go to bit.ly/bully growth. And we can definitely set up an appointment. You can talk to me and my team, and we'll help you get clear on your message, get clear on your vision, and help you build, you know, a business to add to the millions that I've already helped generate for Black folks out here.
Fellas, literally follow The Business Bully on Facebook, on Instagram, or you can hit bit.ly/bully growth for a coaching call if you're in a position to do the work. And if you're in the position to write the check, hit bit.ly/bully growth for a coaching call with Dave and his team and jump into the 1%. You know what I'm saying? Because the brother's going to take you there. And listening to his experience, listening to his story, understanding his heart. The brother has the heart of a teacher. He has the heart for success. But he also really wants you to win. And also, hey, let's not forget, visit blackboyswin.com. You can go visit blackboyswin.com and you can donate. You can check and see what he has going on. But be a part of this. And if you do reach out to him, make sure you let him know that you heard about him if you don't know him already on Black Fathers Now. Let him know you heard about him on Black Fathers Now. And make sure to support this brother, man, because we got to make sure the right people win and the right people win big, because that's how we as a society are going to grow. So, Dave, brother, I thank you so much for taking time to jump on and hang out with us today, my man.
Bro, Mike, it's just, I have enjoyed this talk a lot. This was cleansing.
Man, dude, it's been cleansing, informative, helpful, and therapeutic for me as well.
Man.
So, fellas, make sure to visit, follow Dave Anderson again. Follow The Business Bully on Facebook and Instagram. Follow bit.ly/bully growth for a call if you're in the position and you're financially ready to make that investment with his team to take your business to the next level. Also visit blackboyswin.com and let them know you heard about him on Black Fathers Now. And as always, visit blackfathersnow.com. Follow Black Fathers Now on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. Shoot an email, blackfathersnow@gmail.com. What did you learn from this episode? I know you learned a lot. Keep the emails brief so that I ain't got to spend all day reading them, but because he dropped some gems, right? I'm being real, right? Dig it. Make sure to subscribe via all the podcasting platforms. Leave some ratings, but then also share this out with brothers, man. We want to take Black fatherhood. We want to kick it up and make excellence in Black fatherhood the new average. And fellas, until next time, y'all be blessed, well, and wise. And I'll holler at you. Peace.